everybody. Today I am going to explain to you separation of substances. First we have to know what is pure substances. Pure substance contains only one kind of particle like pure iron, pure gold, etc. Now impure substance is the substance that contains various kind of particles. Mixture is when different pure substances is mixed together. For example, a sharbat, it is prepared by water, fruits, sugar, salt, etc. Homogeneous mixtures. So mixtures can be divided into two categories. One is homogeneous mixture, the other is heterogeneous mixture. Homogeneous mixtures are those mixtures where the constituents or the particles of the mixture can't be seen. That is, the particles are distributed evenly. For example, in a salt and water solution, that is a homogeneous mixture, as because we can't look at salt and water separately. Now coming to heterogeneous mixture. In this mixtures, the particles can be easily seen. For example, when oil is mixed with water or when chalk powder is mixed with water, they do not dissolve in water but settle down or float on water. That means the particles are not distributed evenly. That time they is known as heterogeneous mixture. Now, separation of substances means when we separate two different substances. The purposes of substances. Separation of substances. Number 1. We separate substances to obtain the useful materials. Number 2. For removing the harmful substances. Like when there is a mixture of small quantities of rocks with rice, then we have to remove the stone particles from the rice so that it does not cause any harm to our health. Separation of substances is also done for obtaining different objects that may be useful too. Like when we obtain butter from milk, the butter and milk both are different substances. However, they both are useful too. Now coming to the next part of the chapter, separating solids from other solids. This can be done by the following processes. Number 1 process, hand picking. In this process, we involve our hand also. In this process is suitable only if the color of the substance to be separated is very different from the other, if the size is very different, if the shape is different, and if the substance to be separated is found in very small quantities. Like while separating stones from rice. Winnowing. In this winnowing process, we use the blowing air or wind. Here, this process is used to separate husk from hay. The mixture of husk and hay is dropped from a height. Due to this, what happens? The hay that is heavier falls vertically and the husk is carried away by the wind and is deposited far apart. Threshing. The threshing process is mainly needed to separate stalks from grains. In this process, we have to beat the bundle of stalks on a hard surface. This can be done by main 3 ways. The three ways are either it can be done manually or by using machines called threshers, and the third point is it can be done by keeping the bundle of husk and hay under the feet of cattle. So by trampling the bundle of grains under the feet of cattle. Cattle means bullock, cows, etc. Now another process is magnetic separation. Here we use a magnet. The magnetic substances like iron, cobalt, steel, etc. get attracted to the magnet, and the non-magnetic substances like plastic, rubber, etc. are left behind. Sieving. In this process we use a sieve, that is a utensil where there is fine pores. So what happens? The material which is very fine passes to the sieve and the hard, bigger particles are left behind. Now we will learn how to separate insoluble solids from liquids. Insoluble solids means the solids which do not dissolve in the liquids. The first process is sedimentation, decantation. In this process, I have drawn a diagram. We have to leave the mixture for a few minutes. After some minutes, we will notice that the heavier insoluble solids have settled down. Then we call it as sediments. The clear water above it is known as supernatant. In the decantation process, what we have to do is to pour this supernatant into another fresh beaker without disturbing the settled sediments. Now loading. Loading is a process where alum is added to fasten the process of sedimentation. Here we have to just pour alum into this mixture. Then what will happen? The sediments will become loaded and automatically the sediments quickly will settle down. Then the sedimentation and decantation process will occur faster. Now the churning process. This churning process is done either by a hand beater or by a mixie. This process is used mainly to separate butter from milk. Coming to the filtration process. This process uses a filter paper or a muslin cloth. We have to take a beaker also. Then we have to pour the mixture through the filter paper. We will notice that insoluble particles will be left behind in the filter paper. That will be known as residue. And the clear water that will be in the other beaker will be known as filtrate. Now, how to separate soluble solids from a liquid? Soluble solids means which can dissolve in a liquid. So there are two processes, evaporation and condensation. In the evaporation process, we have to give heat to the liquid, to the mixture, and the liquid will evaporate, form vapors and mix into the air. And and then we can easily get the soluble solids. The another process is condensation. In this process, we will do evaporation, that is, we will vaporize the liquid, and then we have to collect the water droplets that will be formed when the vapor touches a cool surface. And like that, the soluble solids and the liquid will be separated. Now, how to separate miscible liquids from a solution? Miscible liquids means the liquids that can dissolve in another liquid. The process is known as distillation. Here I have drawn a diagram of it. See, we have to heat the mixture of miscible liquids. Then the liquid whose boiling point is lesser will be the first to form vapors. Then we will pass the vapors through a condenser so that it forms water droplets, and then we have to collect the water droplets in another beaker. Like this, the other liquid whose boiling point was greater would be separated from the other liquid those whose boiling point was lesser. Now, how to separate immiscible liquids from a solution? Immiscible liquids means the liquids which cannot dissolve in another liquid. Here we use a separating funnel. See, here I have drawn a diagram of separating funnel. We have to pour the mixture in the separating funnel. See, I have taken the mixture of oil and water. So the oil floats on water, and then there is a stopper here. When we on the stopper, then the water will pass through the beaker. As soon as the oil reaches the stopper, we have to off the stopper, and then oil and water will be separated. And we have to do this very carefully. Now, all through this video, I have explained about soluble, insoluble, miscible, immiscible. For understanding these terms better, we have to also learn about solvent, solute, solution and solubility. Actually, the addition of solvent and solute forms solution. Solvent is the material where the solute dissolves, and solute is the material to be dissolved in the solvent. Now coming to the term solubility. Solubility is the amount of solute a solvent can hold at a particular temperature. Now, saturated solution. Saturated solution is when the solution cannot hold more solute. After that, the solute which we will try to dissolve will just settle down. They will not more dissolve. Now the unsaturated solution. Unsaturated solution is when the solution can hold more solute. Now coming to an interesting part. Water. Water is an universal solvent. That means it can dissolve a large number of solids, liquids and gases. It also has many important functions in our body as well as in all organisms. So here we finish our chapter. Thank you all.